We begin with the raw foundation, pouring molten platinum into the mold to form the heavy, endless circle that signifies a promise finally kept. The rough casting cools on the wooden bench, waiting for the file to strip away the oxidation and reveal the deep white luster. We measure the circumference with absolute precision, ensuring the band sits comfortably on the finger without turning or slipping during daily constant wear. Now the focus shifts to the stones, selecting perfectly matched emerald cut diamonds that share identical clarity, color, and precise geometric step cuts. We lay them out in a perfect row, checking the table percentages to ensure the Hall of Mirrors effect is consistent and uniform. The burr cuts into the platinum rail, carving distinct seats for each stone so they sit flush against the metal's sturdy hidden backbone. Small prongs are raised from the base, metal sharp and unrefined, standing ready to grip the corners of the rectangular diamond shapes securely. Before the setting process begins, we polish the inner galleries, reaching areas that will be impossible to access once the diamonds block the way. The first emerald cut diamond slides into its designated channel, the step facets catching the soft atelier light as it finds its home. We gently push the metal over the clipped corners, applying just enough pressure to lock the stone without stressing the delicate crystalline structure. Every stone must align perfectly with the next, creating a continuous line of light that travels unbroken around the entire ring's outer circumference. Under the microscope, we check the height of the tables, ensuring they form a flat, seamless surface that feels smooth to the touch. Stone by stone, the platinum band disappears beneath the weight of the diamonds, transforming from a simple metal ring into an object of brilliance. We file down the tips of the prongs, shaping them into tiny, unobtrusive claws that minimize metal visibility and maximize the stone's fire. From the side profile, the basketwork is visible, allowing light to enter beneath the culet and illuminate the diamond fully from within. We inspect the girdles of the diamonds to ensure they are not touching, preventing the friction that could cause chipping over long periods. The final stone is the most difficult to place, requiring careful manipulation of the metal to close the loop without disturbing the rest. A stiff wheel buffs the exterior metal, removing tool marks left during the setting process and smoothing the transition between metal and stone. We dip the ring into the ultrasonic cleaner, the vibrations shaking loose any polishing compound trapped behind the diamonds or in the open gallery. Steam blasts away the water droplets, leaving the diamonds absolutely pristine and ready for the rigorous quality control inspection that follows immediately next. We take the ring back to the wheel to polish the interior shank, creating a mirror finish that glides smoothly against the skin. A soft cotton buff applies the final rouge, turning the gray platinum into a brilliant white surface that rivals the diamonds in brightness. Under 10 power magnification, we verify that every single prong is perfectly rounded and smoothed, ensuring no fabric will ever snag on them. We check the table alignment one last time, ensuring the flat tops of the emerald cuts create a seamless level surface all around. The laser engraver marks the inner band with the purity stamp and our maker's mark, signing the work as a piece of authenticity. We verify the depth of the engraving, ensuring it is legible but comfortable, sitting subtly inside the band without disrupting the smooth curvature. A specialized probe tests the tension of each setting, applying force to ensure the diamonds remain completely immobile within their platinum channel seats. We rotate the band under distinct lighting conditions to catch any microscopic scratches on the metal that might have occurred during the setting. The distinct step cuts of the emerald shape produce a hall of mirrors effect, flashing broad beams of white light rather than sparkles. We perform a final steam clean to blast away dust particles, leaving the piece chemically pure and free from any oils or residues. The ring is placed on a white cloth for a final naked eye inspection, checking the overall symmetry and visual balance of light. We select the heavy velvet-lined presentation box, checking the hinge mechanism to ensure it opens with the appropriate resistance and luxury feel today. The dark navy velvet interior provides the necessary contrast, designed to absorb light so the platinum and diamonds can reflect it with intensity. We press the ring firmly into the slot, positioning it so the top facets catch the overhead light the moment the lid lifts. The accompanying diamond grading reports are gathered and placed into a leather folio, documenting the specific characteristics of every stone in the band. We wipe the exterior of the box with a microfiber cloth, removing fingerprints to ensure the presentation is as flawless as the ring. A silk ribbon is cut to the precise length needed to wrap the outer box, adding a layer of anticipation to the unboxing. We tie the bow with a single fluid motion, pulling the loops tight to create a symmetrical knot that sits centered on top. The package feels heavy and substantial in the hand, representing the density of the platinum and the significant carat weight of the diamonds. It sits on the dispatch table, a finished circle of light and metal, waiting for the courier who takes it to its owner. We clear the leather bench skin of the previous gold dust, preparing the workspace for a new, more intricate platinum commission right now. The digital calipers measure the diameter of the new rough diamonds, seeking stones that match within 1/100th of a millimeter exactly. We reject this specific stone because its pavilion is too deep, which would force the metal setting to sit uncomfortably high on the finger. The computer-aided design software builds the virtual architecture, adjusting the spacing between the prongs to accommodate the slightly larger stone sizes. We print a polymer wax model of the ring, a translucent orange prototype that allows us to check the fit physically. The wax model is attached to a rubber base surrounded by a steel flask that will hold the liquid plaster investment material. We mix the investment powder with water in a vacuum chamber, removing every air bubble to ensure a perfectly smooth surface finish. The flask enters the kiln for the burnout cycle, where the wax melts away completely, leaving behind the negative space for metal. The crucible heats the platinum grain to over 3,000 degrees, turning the solid gray pellets into a blinding pool of liquid. Centrifugal force slams the molten metal into the hollow cavity, filling every detail of the basket weave pattern in a split second. We plunge the hot flask into water, the thermal shock shattering the plaster and revealing the dull gray metal tree inside. The hydraulic cutters snip the heavy feed sprue, separating the raw eternity band from the button that fed it during the cast. We inspect the raw casting for any porosity or air bubbles, knowing that even a microscopic void compromises the ring's structural integrity. A coarse file removes the remaining nub of the sprue, shaping the outer shank into a perfect circle that rolls true. We place the ring on a steel mandrel and tap it gently with a rawhide mallet to ensure it is perfectly round. The metal is annealed with a torch, softening the platinum structure so it becomes malleable enough to hold the diamonds securely later. We drill pilot holes into the metal seats, creating a guide for the burrs that will carve the final resting places. The layout is checked again, placing the stones loosely on top to verify that the spacing calculation leaves no unsightly gaps. We sharpen the graver tip on an oil stone, creating a polished cutting edge that will slice through platinum like it is butter. The microscope is adjusted to the craftsman's eyes, bringing the blur of gray metal into a sharp three-dimensional landscape of potential. The high-speed steel burr spins rapidly, carving away thin curls of platinum to create the precise rectangular shelf for the first diamond. We measure the depth of the seat constantly to ensure the culée of the diamond hangs freely without touching the wearer's finger. A flat graver shaves the inner walls of the channel, ensuring they are perfectly vertical to match the step-cut diamond's geometry. Before a single stone is placed, we polish the metal lattice underneath, knowing these hidden areas add to the ring's overall brilliance. We thread cotton string charged with polishing compound through the tiny openings, sawing back and forth to smooth the interior metalwork. The friction heats up the platinum, quickly forcing us to work in short bursts to avoid burning the delicate finishing buffs today. We wash the ring in ultrasonic solution again to remove the heavy gray residue left behind by the aggressive pre-polishing stage now. The clean metal reveals the crisp edges of the seats, ready to receive the emerald cut stones in their predetermined sequence order. We place the ring in the engraving block, locking it tight so the rotational axis allows us to work at every angle. The first diamond is lowered gently into position, checking that the long edges of the step cut run parallel to the rails. It sits slightly high, so we remove it and carefully cut the seat deeper by a fraction of a millimeter right now. We reseat the stone and tap it lightly with a brass rod, ensuring it is fully grounded against the platinum shelf below. The second stone slides in beside the first, requiring a microscopic gap between the girdles to prevent them from crushing each other. We check the height difference between the two tables, aiming for a perfectly flat plane that feels like a continuous sheet of glass. A pneumatic hammer delivers rapid, tiny strikes to the metal wall, pushing a small bead of platinum over the stone's corner edge. We work on opposite sides of the ring, simultaneously maintaining tension balance so the metal circle does not warp under the pressure. The third and fourth stones are added, establishing the rhythm of the setting pattern that will continue around the entire metal band. We frequently pause to wipe away the bright metal shavings, keeping the visual field clear to inspect the progress of the row. Any stone that rocks in its seat is removed immediately, as movement now means the diamond will inevitably fall out later on. We adjust the bearing cutter angle slightly, undercutting the prong just enough to allow the stone to snap into a secure lock. We reach the halfway point of the circumference, the weight of the ring increasing noticeably as more platinum is displaced by the dense diamonds. We flip the ring over to check the pavilion alignment from the underside, ensuring the pointed bottoms of the diamonds create a straight line. The space for the remaining stones shrinks, requiring a recalculation of the metal seats to ensure the final diamond fits without uneven spacing gaps. We slightly shave the walls of the final three seats, stealing mere microns of space to accommodate the accumulation of tolerance variances encountered today. The final diamond is the keystone, requiring us to pull back the metal prong further than usual to allow the girdle to clear the rim. With a distinct click, the last emerald cut settles into place, completing the continuous loop of ice that now fully encircles the platinum band. We go back around the entire perimeter, applying the final downward pressure on every single prong to lock the stones against the metal seat. The raw metal beads holding the stones are boxy and sharp, so we take a precision file to sculpt them into elegant tiny claws. We round off the sharp tips of the prongs, ensuring they feel smooth like polished glass when the user runs a finger over them. A silicone rubber wheel spins across the top of the prongs, removing the deep scratch marks left by the steel file during the shaping. We tilt the ring sideways to clean up the azure cuts, the small windows beneath the diamonds that allow dirt to be washed away. We place the ring on a flat steel block to verify that the edges of the channel are perfectly parallel and free of waves. A tungsten burnisher rubs against the platinum rails, compressing the metal surface to make it denser and brighter before the final polishing stage begins. We shake the ring near the ear, listening for the faint clicking sound that indicates a loose stone moving slightly within its metal seat. One stone shifts slightly, so we place the graver tip against the prong and push closer, eliminating the movement with calculated heavy force now. The structure is now solid, a rigid integration of carbon and metal that acts as a single unit rather than a collection of parts. We prepare the buffeting machine, selecting a stiff bristle brush that will penetrate the open galleries without scratching the surfaces of the diamonds today. The gray cutting compound is applied to the brush, aggressive enough to remove the file marks, but fine enough to leave a satin finish. The friction generates intense heat, requiring us to hold the ring with leather finger guards to prevent burning the skin during the polishing cycle. We dip the ring in solvent to dissolve the heavy grease of the polishing compound, revealing the true surface condition of the platinum metal. We switch to the softest cotton wheel, applying white rouge to bring out the deep liquid silver color of the heavy platinum metal. The wheel spins gently across the side profile, ensuring the mirror finish does not round off the crisp edges of the metal gallery. We wash the ring one final time in the ultrasonic bath, the solution vibrating at high frequency to dislodge microscopic polishing dust particles. The steam jet screams as it hits the diamonds, blowing away water spots and leaving the stones chemically clean and fiercely bright today. We place the finished band on a white inspection tray using tweezers to handle it, so oils from our skin do not transfer. Under the microscope, we verify the culettes are open and clear, allowing light to pass through the stone without any obstruction or interference. We run a silk cloth over the prongs in every direction, feeling for the slightest snag that would indicate a rough metal burr. The laser inscription is verified against the work order, ensuring the purity stamp and serial number are crisp, deep, and perfectly legible now. We measure the final ring size on a calibrated steel mandrel, ensuring it hits the center of the line for the specific client. The total weight of the finished piece is recorded, confirming the amount of platinum used matches the estimated loss calculations from the casting. We gather the individual grading reports for the diamonds, cross-referencing the laser inscriptions on the stones with the paperwork for absolute certainty today. The ring is placed inside the light box for photography, capturing the brilliance of the emerald cuts for the client's permanent insurance records. We wipe the jewelry box interior with a lint roller, removing even the smallest dust specks from the dark navy velvet cushion material. The ring is pressed firmly into the slot, checking that it stands upright and proud, presenting the diamonds at the optimal viewing angle. We close the box lid, listening for the snap of the hinge, then wipe the exterior lacquer to remove any handling marks or smudges. The outer protective carton is assembled, reinforcing the corners to ensure the luxury presentation box remains undamaged during the transit to the client. We place the certificate folio at the bottom, creating a solid foundation for the jewelry box to sit upon inside the shipping container. Tissue paper is crunched and packed tightly around the box, preventing it from shifting or rattling inside the package during the courier journey. We generate the shipping label with full insurance coverage, requiring a direct signature to ensure the chain of custody remains strictly unbroken today. We seal the outer box with tamper-evident tape marking the end of the production cycle and the beginning of the ring's life forever. 1 year later, the ring returns to the atelier, carrying the inevitable microscopic scars and scratches of daily life and constant use here. We inspect the bottom of the shank under magnification, noting the heavy displacement of platinum caused by gripping hard surfaces like door handles. The ultrasonic bath is prepared with a stronger solution today, needed to break down the hardened layers of soap and lotion residue. We notice a slight movement in the seventh stone, a common result of the metal ring flexing slightly during months of regular wear. The graver pushes the metal back against the diamond girdle, tightening the setting until the stone is once again completely rigid and secure. We take the ring to the laser welder to fill a deep gouge on the side, melting fresh platinum into the void. The file smooths the new weld flush with the surface erasing the damage completely and restoring the structural integrity of the heavy band. A light polish is applied to the interior, preserving the engraving while removing the dullness that accumulates from contact with the skin. We avoid over-polishing the prongs as removing too much metal every year would eventually weaken the setting and compromise the stone's security. The steam jet blasts through the gallery one last time, ensuring the diamonds return to their original blinding capacity of light performance. We compare the restored ring against the original production photos, confirming that the geometry and finish have returned to factory standard condition. The ring is slipped into a soft travel pouch, this time a practical accessory for the client to store it safely during transit. We update the service record in the digital log, noting the repair work done and scheduling the next inspection for next year. The bench is swept clean of platinum dust, the precious particles collected carefully to be refined and melted down for future casting. We wipe down the precision tools with oil, protecting the steel pliers and files from rust in the humid air of the shop. The lights in the atelier are dimmed, leaving only the security spots illuminating the safes where the raw materials sleep for the night. The silence returns to the room, replacing the hum of the polishing motors and the sharp sound of metal striking metal today. We remove the leather apron, the uniform of the trade, hanging it on the hook where it waits for the next morning. Craftsmanship is an endless cycle of creation and care, ensuring these objects outlive the hands that made them and the hands that wear them. The door locks with a heavy thud, sealing the workshop until the sun rises and the work of making forever begins all over.